I think also nowadays you can't get away with crap. Let's say like, I don't know, archetypal like crap, frustrating experience would be something like Salesforce. But I'm sure even they've improved now because like the consumer knows demands something is good.
It's Thursday morning today. The weather here in Barcelona is pretty shit, like you can see. And the Supercut team works from home on Thursdays. So I thought, why not visit David, get free breakfast, and talk about design. I can already smell the coffee. David, let's talk about design.
Let's talk about design.
So I asked you last night to prepare a bit like a list of your favorite tools in the market right now.
Yeah. Let's say the tools that make me feel a bit jealous, let's say.
Okay, cool.
Design.
Let's see that.
All right, so the first app I wanted to show you was Linear. Don't know if you know Linear.
Yeah.
Okay, so Linear is a project management tool for developers. You probably don't think this is like that beautiful, but, but what's impressive to me is that there is so much information in this to convey, and the kind of hierarchy of information that we've been able to achieve, and they've done it really, really well. Okay. So that it's understandable and like really, really usable.
So this is like a bunch of information that to me looks a little bit like Notion.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
It is like Notion, but it's like orientated to developers.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right,
next tool. Revolut have made a fun looking app, but it's usable at the same time. And it's loads of delight. Like when you make a payment, you see your balance go down, like the numbers kind of change.
For real? Oh, that's
and then there's like a little like a little tick that like the transaction worked. I know my balance is going down, so it's negative, but I still feel like positive about it. I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing, but they've put a lot of effort into the UX of their app. It's really like just first class and just, yeah, it's like stress-free banking basically.
Right.
So that's Revolut. Framer, do you know it?
Website
the
builder.
Website builder.
Yeah. Is it like the same as Webflow?
Well, it does the same thing. I think what I like about Framer, there's a kind of certain style that they have. I don't know, it just feels nicely rounded, just like neat. It's very friendly looking. Like everything they do just feels a bit like very accessible. I mean, you love Squarespace, for example, but it's a different type of design. It's like harder edges. It's more kind of fashion. It's less kind of web kind of friendly. Right?
Which leads me to like a very important question here about design.
Yeah.
Are you a rounded button person or a square button person?
Yeah, good question. I think I'm more of a rounded button person, but you know, like a square button, like used in the right way, if it's the right brand, makes absolute sense, of course. Then Visual Electric, I just picked this up because I just really,
that's fun.
Yeah, I just think like their design is just really, really nice.
What is it?
It's an AI tool for generating images, let's say branded campaigns.
Oh wow, okay.
I just picked this up, here I just wanted to show something really nice that they're doing with the font and their brand. You know, I think it's just typically you just see like a brand use like, you know, a nice font, or maybe they've designed their own font, but here they're actually, the brand is totally in the font.
This Visual Electric thing, I don't know if any of you knew about it, but I haven't heard of it. So if you have one to share, just drop it in the comments because we read you.
Cool, so next is Figma. It's kind of interesting like to review Figma in terms of design, right? Is it well designed? Because it's a design tool
It's
as
so
well,
meta.
right? Because if I think of Framer, Framer is a design tool, but it's obviously trying to be less technical, so it can afford to be, you know, like Figma doesn't need to be beautiful, right? What you're creating inside needs to be beautiful, and everything around needs to be functional. That doesn't mean that
it's like a frame.
Like,
it's like a frame.
Exactly. So, you know, if you notice, like I think if you compare probably Framer to Figma, like everything is much smaller. Google Maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not expecting this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a mainstay. It's like, in terms of like utility design, like being usable, it's still like the GOAT, right? It's like a reference for a lot of designers, and especially their mobile apps. I mean, it's just think like how many people use that app every day. Like, maybe a good comparison is Amazon, right? Which is designed really, it's not a great design, but they've stuck with many things like patterns. Like a button has like bevel on it because a button should look like a button, right?
Okay.
I think they're still doing
What's
that
bevel?
because it's be rounded, like have a rounded
like
effect.
these 3D.
Exactly, and they've probably tested the crap out of that. And
Yeah.
maybe that's like, for people's brains, they just see that immediately like as a button. ChatGPT. I've put this in because everyone is basically copying their UI patterns. So every kind
Especially
of
in
chat,
the world of AI, I see that a lot.
exactly. So they've kind of set the standard how everything looks. Put in its place, it's pixel perfect, everything is, relationship between elements is all really nice, so it feels really professional.
And it just works.
And it just works.
What do you think about the consistency between ChatGPT, the normal like text to like whatever,
Yeah.
versus when you talk to it and it goes to this like more like experience driven, like, hey, how are you doing? And then you have this bubble like doing this.
Yeah. Kind of, I think what they're trying to do is like this ephemeral kind of like godly thing.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Kind of feels like that, no? But it works well, and they kind of designed that, and they put a stamp on their voice mode with that.
One more.
Yeah, one more. What should we choose? Headspace. This is just maybe like a wild card here.
Okay, why?
I just think it's just like, well, it's very different to what I've shown, and you know, here is an app that really has to like, the functionality app has to completely breathe the brand, right?
Right.
So the brand is like a circle. The whole app is about meditation and relaxation. Everything they've done is to make you feel like, I'm like floating on a cloud kind of thing. All the animations, the characters, it's just like a really, really well put together package. And I think like, you know, when you can, I've often seen like products have a really good brand, but like translating that into the product itself is sometimes a bit more difficult.
How do you do that without getting on the way of the user experience? Because sometimes some brands try to do, some apps try to do that, but then you just get these like clunky animations, or like you're just trying to do things and like you get.
Well, look, if you have a brand that's super fun and you're trying to do something that's serious, like maybe your brand is wrong. So linear is like very functional, and so and the brand is quite sober but sophisticated at the same time. So it matches, right? But imagine if linear was like, you know, a cloud with a happy face, and then then there's like all this happy stuff all over the actual product.
Right.
People will get fed up of that. It's like something they have to use every day. So, you know, obviously it depends the brand, like how deep you can go with that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also hard to find the balance for like how expressive you want to be versus how practical or like useful or like straight to the point you want to get.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. I have one for you.
Yeah.
Flora, fauna.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think about this? Very small team, AI product, very interesting kind of like layout way to use it.
It just immediately feels futuristic.
Right.
But, you know, without like looking too technical, like soft edges, you know, all these kind of like, this is just a beautiful design feature that like makes it feel like super powerful. Like one screen is like feeding information into the other. So it just feels like really, really powerful. It's really well put together. Obviously there's a lot of information on the screen, but as you hover over different things, you get different things being revealed. So it's like there's kind of this onion layering happening.
So I'm gonna ask you one more question. By the way, if you've gotten this far in the video, if you reached the end,
Congratulations.
Congratulations, first of all. You're probably one person, so we're gonna send you something. And I think it could be a good moment to subscribe and support the channel, so we can keep making more videos like this, and I keep my job. And now I have the final boss here of products, which is Supercut.
Yeah.
So I want you to open Supercut real quick.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me your favorite thing about the product and the one thing you hate that you're gonna change as soon as possible.
I think my favorite part about Supercut is probably the player.
Okay.
We've tried to kind of just keep the most essential parts of having a video player or that shares screen recordings whilst giving enough information. So like, for example, a good example is like the menu, right? Just try to make that small and keep that out of the way, because we really want people to just focus on the brand. In this case, this is like this, you know, a custom version of the Supercut brand. But yeah, we've also, since we've removed a lot of clutter out the way, we're also able to do things like put like the chapters in the sidebar. Now it becomes like a really strong navigation element.
And now for the part that everyone's waiting, what's the one thing you don't like?
Well, I just noticed this. I think this is a bug. If I change layout over here and I go to this layout, it's like incredibly slow. So
It's like a keynote
yeah,
animation.
I don't know. I think that's a bug that just got creeped in. But yeah,
So that's it.
I've got a notification. Okay, and there's a UI bug here. Too much text. We're not. Well, you can see here, we're not. It's not fitting within the assigned space. So yeah, visual bug there over here.
I see it's like broken, right?
Yeah, it's broken. So out of this session, we've identified 2 bugs. So we should do this more often.
Perfect. And I think now we're gonna get the fuck out of here so David can fix these bugs.
Good.